Joining me now is author and political commentator Shamika Michelle.
When God looked at man, he said it's not good for man to be alone. He gave him a woman. He didn't give him a village. He didn't give him the community. He said, be fruitful and multiply to this man and this woman. So it's supposed to be God, husband, wife.
If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always done.
Hello, and welcome to the War on Words. I am here to expose the lies hiding in plain sight, because when you change the words, the truth dies, right? So this week, we're just going to be taking what they call innocent word changes or innocent phrases and actually ripping off the mask to tell you the real truth behind the lies. Because you can make soft words, but soft words don't erase the hard truth. So let's get into it today, the war on words. And we're starting with this whole Thicc, because they believe that just because they removed the K and added another C, that it makes it all right. So today we're breaking down Thicc. All week, it's going to be the war on words. Thank you for joining me. Let's get into it.
Like, I hate when people talk about Black women being obese. I hate it because it becomes a way to blame us for a set of conditions that we didn't create. We're moving, we're taking care of kids, but our food quality suffers. We are living in the Trump era. And look, those policies kill our people. You can't get access to good health care, good insurance. The research says that Black women, when we do the same diets as white women, we lose less weight and we lose it slower, even when we're following the diet, than our white women counterparts. It's literally that the racism that you're experiencing and the struggle to make ends meet actually means the diet don't work for you the same.
The diet don't work for you the same. Let me tell you a little bit as to how I got here today. Welcome, everybody. So I think it was Thursday. I went to this line dancing event, right? So I was sitting in there, and my daughters were on the floor and they were line dancing and they're in their cowboy boots. And I was just looking around because for some time now, I've been hearing 4 out of 5 Black women were overweight. And listen, this obesity, this overweight, it's across the board. America as a whole, real fat, real unhealthy. That's why we have Kennedy, who came in with Make America Healthy Again, and people started jumping on board because America as a whole just unhealthy. Between all of the medications they put us on, all of the food that have the additives in it, and just us being overeaters, just fat for no reason, right? Just overweight. But I started seeing all of these posts and people saying 4 out of 5 Black women are overweight. And I'm telling you, ever since I saw it, I can't unsee it. So I was in this line dancing event, and I'm watching them do their little dances in their cowboy boots. And I'm telling you, they had their boots on the ground. But because they are overweight, the boots were like turned outward, right? So they were like, where them fans at? Where them fans at? Where them, and the boots was just turned over. And so I posted on X and I said, 80% of Black women are overweight. And damn. That's all I had to say, because I was sitting in this event and I'm telling you, they had on the smallest clothes, the tiniest tops, showing their big bellies and their big backs and the smallest shorts. And I was amazed. I was amazed because there are things that even as a smaller frame woman that I will not wear. But listen, the big backs were on the floor. Where them fans at? The shoes. Where them fans at? I mean, just turned over. Where them fans? And I couldn't believe it. So I made this post, and some of the big backs were upset. And I kept going back and forth with this woman, and she wanted to know, why would I post that? First of all, because it's my account and I post what I want when I want to post it. That was number one. But number two, I was confused as to why people were offended by a statistic that I didn't create. 80% of Black women are overweight. And the reason why I, as someone who's trying to unblack myself, the reason why I'm going to just zone in to Black women, it's because they are the ones trying to change the words to cover up the hard truth. And the hard truth is, you can call yourself thick with 2 C's. You can refer to yourself as a BBW, big beautiful woman, big Black woman. You can say all of these things, but the bottom line is you're fat, you're overweight, and many of you are leaning towards obesity if you haven't already knocked that door down. So we're going to get into it because y'all are delusional. And what we need to understand is there are some real statistics, dangerous statistics. Look at me. I'm so worked up that I'm fumbling over my words. There are some dangerous statistics that go along with accepting this lifestyle as normal. As we saw in the video that I just played, this is a professor, a professional woman, Brittany Cooper, that goes around the United States making excuses for almost crushing that stool she was sitting on, making excuses for the heels, the little kitten heels on those shoes, holding on to the bar on that stool for dear life, blaming racism for being fat. Now, there is a term, it's called weathering, where they do try and say racism is to blame. But as someone that just keeps it real, there's just going to be, listen, racism ain't got nothing to do with you sitting, shoving food, your fork down your throat with an excess of calories. That's not racism. That's not discrimination. And I understand the idea that we don't have, we're not readily, accessible. We can't get health care like that. But you can, the roads are paved now in most places. You may not have access to health care readily as a white person, but you got a road that you can get out on and put them big fat feet to the ground in a pair of sneakers and work some of that weight off. Y'all aren't exercising typically because, you don't want to mess up your hair. A lot of you wearing wigs and weaves, and you don't want to mess up your hair, so you aren't exercising because you don't want to sweat. By the time you braid your hair down and put on a cap and then add a weave or a wig, it's hot. And once you exercise, you're hotter. So you don't want to exercise. But listen, there are real statistics that we need to discuss. Okay? Number one, as I said, 80% of Black women in the U.S. are overweight. This is according to the CDC. The lady that was arguing with me on X over the weekend because of my post on Thursday wanted to know, where do you get those statistics? First of all, she was overweight herself, which is probably why she was upset. But according to the CDC, ma'am, look it up. 80% of Black women in the U.S. are overweight or obese. What does it mean to be overweight? Overweight is the excessive body weight for your height. It's typically measured using BMI, body mass index. A BMI between 25 and 29.9 is overweight. A BMI of 30 or higher is considered obese. Now, listen, I was raised in the Black community, and I know there's the thought that, oh, that's according to white people. Black people don't have to listen to that. We're a bit thicker just because we're Black. I even remember Sir Mix-a-Lot coming out with his song and saying, picking on Jane Fonda, that he didn't want his woman looking like Jane Fonda because her motor she ain't got a motor in the back of her Honda, and her anaconda, his anaconda, don't want none unless it got buns, hun. He said, baby got back. That's what he liked. But even if you go look at that video, it does not display the back that y'all have in 2025. You don't just have booties. Your backs are like linebackers, just wide, just big for no reason, just looking like you are about to star in an episode of The Clumps, just fat, just spread all over the place. A lot of you can barely get into your profile picture. The way it's like that little circle, some of you can barely fit because you have kind of taken some of the old ideas of wanting a little meat on your bones to thinking it's supposed to be the whole cow. The reason why it's an issue is because heart disease is the number one cause of death for women in the U.S., according to the CDC. Heart disease is the number one cause of death for women in the U.S. Being overweight is a risk factor for heart disease, and it's the number one cause of death for women in the U.S. Black women have a 60% higher chance of dying from heart disease at a younger age than a white woman. And I said, people are going to say, well, why is it that Black women have a higher risk of dying from heart disease than a white woman? Some people, again, would blame this on racism. But let's talk about what's really real. Obesity is out of control. Call it thick all you want. It's still fat, and fat kills hearts. Being overweight and obese is a risk factor for heart disease. When it comes to Black people, hypertension hits Black women earlier and harder than anyone else. Pretending its curves doesn't stop clogged arteries. Hypertension hits you earlier. So we have all of these young women trying to overeat because everybody wants to be a BBW, whether that's big Black woman or big beautiful woman. You got girls going out here getting BBLs, making their behinds so much bigger. Just want to be big, thinking that this is what men want. Listen, it may be what a man wants, to just have a plaything, to just have a good time. But a man who is really serious about life, who is looking at a wife and who will be the mother of his children, wants someone that's healthy, wants someone that will be around to help raise those children. So a very serious man is not looking for you to be fat and out of shape. The fluff may be fun for a while, but a very serious man wants you to be healthy, and he's not going to have you living a lifestyle that could potentially pull you away from your children at an early age, when it's something that you can prevent, when it's something that you can help. You can help what you eat, and you can help on whether or not you get out and exercise. Maybe you can't afford to join a gym, paying a membership, but getting out on the street, walking your neighborhood is free. Pushing away from the table is free. When it comes to Black women, diabetes is off the charts. Black women are almost twice as likely to develop type 2 diabetes. That's not genetics. That's diet, lifestyle, and denial. Diet, lifestyle, and denial. And I'm not talking about a river in Egypt. Y'all are in denial and changing words to look cute, because THICC looks cute. It looks cute, but you're still fat. And you are at risk for heart disease. Doctors don't catch it early. Black women are less likely to get preventative care or aggressive treatment. But part of that is not going to the doctor until it's too late, because obesity has been normalized. So some of you are overweight and obese, and you've been that way for a long time because you think it's okay. As we saw the professor in the video, she was mad, saying that the diets that white women go on don't work for Black people. Listen, lowering your caloric intake is a start. That's why we even have that to start with. That's why that measurement exists. You can lower your caloric intake and start there. That has nothing to do with color. It has nothing to do with being male or female. Push away from the table. Culture celebrates unhealthy as sexy. The Thicc label makes women think fat is fine. It's not, it's deadly. And covering it with slang doesn't change reality. This is the war on words. And somebody has to get up here and tell you the truth. So you can blame stress, you can blame racism, but the truth is obesity, high blood pressure, and diabetes is contributing to heart disease, which is the #1 killer for women. All women, and Black women, you are suffering the most. Because you are picking up fried chicken, pizza, fatback, chitlins, ham hocks, ribs, oxtail. You're picking all of that up beside denial. Again, not a rebranded. You're just standing beside denial as ribs and ham hocks come through. You're just grabbing it, picking it up, and eating it, and thinking, I'm thick. I look good. I'm sexy. This is what they like. Meanwhile, you're just a fat, fun park. Nobody's taking you seriously. You're just a fat fun park. And I have heard big overweight women say, well, I can't keep the men from out of my DMs. The men stay in my inbox. You're a fat fun park. Some of you about to hit 50, never been married, because you're a fat fun park. And I'm not even going to get into the sit down air, the pass by air, but we need to stop pretending that this isn't an issue. And go look this stuff up. To the woman that wanted to argue with me, she was saying things like, oh, but Black women are educated and beautiful. And I'm not arguing any other attributes. My point was 80% are overweight. And I'm telling you, 4 out of 5 men overweight, that's something that you can't unsee. And I don't want to hear the deflection of skinny women are unhealthy too. Well, what about those that have anorexia and those that are bulimic? I don't know if I see those thin people changing words to make it okay. Maybe at one point when you had Kate Moss and those type kind of dominating the runways, maybe they had little cute things that made it okay to be unhealthy and extremely thin. But I don't see page after page after page of BBW, of Thicc. I don't see that. Now, I can remember growing up when PHAT was a thing, they would call it fat. And people would say plenty hips, ass, and titties. I remember that. But now y'all don't just have plenty, you have an overabundance. More than enough to share. Like you could pass it out to 3, 4, 5 other people and still have more than enough. This is why I say when you give an inch, they take a mile. You can go back to Sir Mix-a-Lot talking about women with behinds, they don't look the way y'all look today. And these women in those videos were natural. They had a little natural curviness, little natural fluffiness to them. Now y'all are just big baboons for no reason. Am I being insulting? I'm really, the truth is just the truth, and maybe the truth hurts just a bit. But these are the statistics. So as much as you try to change the language, there is a hard truth typically underlying. And for this, calling yourself THICC, thick, or BBWs, the underlying truth is heart disease is the #1 killer of women. Black women suffer more and suffer at a younger age. Being overweight and obese is a risk factor for having heart disease. Hypertension, risk factor. Diabetes, risk factor. And y'all are checking a lot of boxes and calling it thick. So this week, in our this is a little mini series. Honestly, I have about 3 weeks worth of words that we've words and phrases that we have began to try to change the meaning and make them sound okay and be acceptable or demonize them. And these are things that just make me shake my head. Because this is shaking my head with Shamika Michelle. And when this woman started coming at me on X, wanting to argue and go back and forth with me, I said, I'm not going to let her irritate me. I'm going to let it motivate me. And what I noticed is there's a war on words. There's a war on language. And we like to doctor things up so that it's soft. I understand that a spoonful of sugar makes the medicine go down, but sometimes you just need to taste the medicine so you can remember that there's a problem to start with. We don't need to add any sugar because the sugar makes it a treat, makes it a snack. Sometimes you just need that bitter medicine so that you can remember there was a problem to start with. So we're not going to be whitewashing, no pun intended, these words, because they have real problems attached to it. I'm really trying to stay within this 20 to 30 minute. But hello, West Side Tay. I love Shamika. Thank you. The Green Journey. Thank you for being here. What up, Doe? Lotus Flower. Back to you. Thank you, Asino the Wise, for being here. And yes, do what all my hoes demonetized tells you to do and hit the button. Earl Grey says, I've been shamed for my body my entire life. For what? Because I think I've watched some of your videos and you're small. You may have been shamed for being small. Now, I will say, coming up, one of my nicknames was Skinny Minnie. And I always found it funny that people could say Skinny Minnie or girl, you need to eat a biscuit. But the moment I turn and say, well, you need to not eat any, or you need to push away from the table, all of a sudden I'm the mean one. My daughter would come home from school at times, 2 of them, complaining because people were picking on them for being slim or skinny. And they were calling them string bean. I can't really remember some of the other names, but I remember telling my daughter, listen, as you age, you will be grateful for starting off small. Because a lot of these girls that are thick, a lot of them that feel like they're curvy and shapely, they're going to have one child and the bodies will be gone, wrecked. You're going to see them in their late 20s, early 30s, and you're going to think, no one needs to move them beside a Wendy's, because it's going to be over with. These cute, curvy bodies, 14, 15, 16 years old, once they have one child, they're going to be somewhere 5 years after that child is born saying, well, this is baby weight. It's not baby weight when it's the kindergartner. The baby has that stage has passed. And some of y'all have kids 10, 15 years old talking about it's baby weight. That's not baby weight. My friend says she was called Thicc. I have also heard stick meat. So I was small. I think I told y'all last week when I was leaving one of my friends' house, and we always used to scold on each other. It just was. I remember having a fat friend and someone saying, like, the power had gone out, and someone saying, oh my God, he just ate the moon. Like, we would pick on each other all the time. But there was a time I was leaving one of my friends' houses and they threw a mop or a broom out the door and was like, oh my, y'all forgot Shamika. So we would pick on each other all the time. But when y'all start trying to change the meaning, somebody has to say something. Earl Grey, the Bay, says, seeing a fat person on food stamps kill me. Listen, and I've seen them online complaining if those stamps get cut. Like, what are you doing? Thicc, thoughtlessly hoarding ill-fitting clothes confidently. Thoughtlessly hoarding ill-fitting clothes confidently, and it is no thought put into it. The green journey, absolutely no thought put into it. Earl Grey the Bay says men have lied to these women and told them they look good, unhealthy. Beyonce calls them thick. And this is the thing. You have somebody like Beyonce who's still a decent size. Beyonce isn't even overweight, but she plays into pushing a lot of stereotypes that actually harm women. I don't understand why she has so many fans. She got y'all flitting around, bragging on being single or, I ain't sorry, I ain't sorry, nigga, with all that little stuff, while she has a husband and a family. Y'all will be standing around singing some of these anthems, these single women anthems. Meanwhile, the person that wrote the song and put it out, married or in a relationship, happy, and y'all walking around buying into it, miserable. Alicia says, hello. Thank you for joining today. Keep being unapologetic about the truth. Unapologetic. Yes. Hey, Melina. Lotus Flower 732. The Supplemental Food and Assistance Program was initially created for healthy nutritional options and decrease hunger, but they won't revise the policy so that recipients can't purchase those items. And there are some places, I know Virginia is starting to implement where you can't buy some of these unhealthy foods with food stamps. And there are people that are angry about it. People that are saying, we're poor, but that doesn't mean that you all that have money should, we don't deserve popsicles. I actually saw a video where the lady was saying, are you trying to tell me and my child don't deserve a popsicle? Sweetie, unless you can afford to buy it with money that you've worked for, you don't need a popsicle. And sadly, you can still purchase a lot of the food where you can make some of the unhealthy items. So yes, maybe you can't go in the store and buy a Little Debbie with your food stamps in Virginia and some other places, but you can still buy ingredients to make a little homemade Little Debbie. It's just that a lot of y'all are lazy. You don't know how to cook. And you just want everything given to you. You feel entitled. So now not only are y'all fat and overweight, you're fat, overweight, and entitled. Let's talk about that. The green journey is true. I know a young lady who hates her slim side. She is always going on about how she wishes she was thicker with a belly. It's just funny. Tell her to hold on. Hold on to that being slim. I remember when people would say to me, just wait until you have kids. You'll be big. Didn't happen. They said, wait until you turn 30. You'll be big. Didn't happen. Wait until you turn 40. Didn't happen. I have given up. But now I'm grateful because I try to eat and exercise, and I don't want to be a big back. Big back, big back, big back, big back. Oh, your cart is loaded up with cakes and knickknacks too. I don't want to be a big back. I don't want to look like you. Big back, big back. Oh my God, go to the gym and see women with full face of makeup and wigs and they barely exercising. They're just there in the little clothes. I saw a lady, I'm talking about 3 or 4 times my size, in a pair of spandex, just walking through the gym. I mean, I don't even know why you're in a place full of equipment. You're not using it at all. And she had on a wig. You are right, Shamika. I lost 15 pounds over the past year by doing nothing but taking the stairs and eliminating carbs and sugars. It's simple, but people want to make it seem as if it's so hard and it's something that you can't do. And that's just not true. Who did that? Throwing the mop. I'ma get them. It was someone who's no longer with us. So God got him first, Sharice. Hope their relative isn't watching and they remember that. Just a little jokey joke. Sorry. Oh my God, my nickname too. I had self-hate because I was too skinny. I'm 56 and holding it well. You do look good. And still get the you the eat broccoli girl. Oh yeah. You're the eat broccoli girl. Got it. Earl Grey Bay says I got compared to an iPhone. How? Looking like a 12-year-old boy. Girl, that's why I don't like to wear like really, really, really baggy clothes sometimes, because I'm like, I look like a little boy. So I have to make sure my clothes fit decently because I look like a little boy. Pope be frank. Sorry. Shout out to the chat and Shamika. Thank you. The Pope, it's SHEMEKA, like she, me, KA. Let's get this right, friend. Sharisa says she was part of the itty bitty titty committee because she said you know the rest, but I know it. itty bitty titty committee is what it is. Talk about how Ozempic is killing us, another form of Tuskegee, and you can never stop taking it. That is true. A lot of people, and this is why it bothers me that people want to be so lazy, because then they look for the quick fix. They look for the surgery or the shot that can just help them lose weight, when really all you need to do is stop eating as much. Just stop eating. There was a woman, Katie is her first name, and I am having a whole mental block. She's gonna kill me, but I can't think of it right now. But she did this thing where she wanted to show people that you can lose weight. So she gained all of this weight. She was like over 200 pounds. And she did it to show if you cut back on your calories, you can lose the weight. So after she was very big, she decided to go on a diet. She did all of this just to prove a point, and she cut back on her calories and lost the weight. Cut back on your calories, exercise, lose the weight. Stop looking for quick fixes. Quick fixes. Shit, listen to me. Quick fixes. Stop looking for that, because if you understand the pharmaceutical industry, you know that once you take a pill for something, there's always side effects that cause something else. And then now you're taking a pill for that, which is only going to create more side effects. And then you're going to be like, it's a terrible chain of events, when all you had to do to start with is just lose some weight. Stop eating. Stop eating. Put the fork down. Push away from the table and get outside. Get off the couch. Get from behind your desk. It's not rocket science. And this fat professor, Brittany Cooper, perpetuating the idea that racism and discrimination is the cause of you being overweight, or the reason you can't lose weight, that's an excuse. And excuses are tools of incompetence. Just stop eating as much. It's not that hard. I think Virginia is allowing EBT purchase at McDonald's. Now, come on. I do know some places here that will take EBT for hot food, and it's not hot, healthy food. It's like fried foods. And that's when you really should be, I would be suspicious. Why are they offering me something on taxpayers' dollars that isn't healthy? It's like when they said, come get the you know what for a Big Mac 5 years ago. Y'all remember when the you know what was happening? And they were giving you $100 to come get that thing. This still YouTube. I'm still broadcasting on YouTube, so I'm careful. If I was just on Rumble or X, I could say what I want to say. But this still YouTube. When they were trying to get you to go run out and get it, they were offering you $100 or offering you a Big Mac and some fries. That would have made me suspicious. But there were so many people running out to get that Big Mac, and now they regret it. In NYC, you can buy Popeyes with EBT, but not food stamps. Well, what's the difference there? Because the EBT here is food stamps. So what's the difference there? But again, all this week, we're going to be discussing the war on words. Today it was Thicc. Just to sum it up before we get out of here, just making sure I didn't miss any like super chats or anything, because I definitely want to read those. Trad wife 2222. Another issue, in my honest opinion, is the obesity constipation connection, which has to do with gut health. Absolutely. And there are a lot of things out here, pre and probiotics, that's supposed to help keep a lot of these natural cleansers. We've been doing the half a lime, couple pinches of salt, cayenne pepper, and either coconut or olive oil. That's a good cleanse to keep things moving. It's a lot of natural things out here with items that you probably have in your kitchen. So let's get that gut health together. Then you won't be constipated, and you can probably lose a few pounds. Then we can get to the big bag. Big bags, big bags. Oh, your cart is loaded up. To recap, 80% of Black women are overweight. We are dying at faster rates because we are experiencing heart disease at much faster rates than white women. We are struggling with hypertension, obesity, and diabetes, all risk factors for heart disease, which is the #1 killer for women in the United States. So although we can come together and we can joke about these things, there are a lot of people who don't think that it's a serious issue. They'll put another name on it and think that that makes it okay. I'm not going to tell you what weight you should be. I am saying you should not be overweight, and you certainly shouldn't be obese. If you're struggling with either one of those, you need to be on top of it, doing something about it. Yes, small people have issues that we struggle with as well. I struggle with anemia, although that's not a small or big thing. Big women can be anemic as well, but I struggle with anemia. That's something that I have to stay on top of. Why? Because I have children, and although they're grown, I want to see my grandkids. I'm not just living for today. So put down the chicken, the ribs, the mac and cheese, or eat it in a smaller portion, fat girls, and don't just live for today. Think about tomorrow, 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You want to be around, and you want to stop putting yourself in positions to possibly not be around. And stop being lazy. Again, the gym may cost, but walking outside is free. Now, if you live where a lot of YNs are, because there's something else people want to make sound like it's something good, may not be so free. Walk around your house. Walk around the coffee table as many times as you can. Get that work in, get that heart rate up, and let's lose some weight. Put the fork down, push away from the table. Because if I see you, I may only shake my head, but then I might just do a whole episode on you. If you want to see the woman arguing with me on X, it's still up there. She got an episode, but she also motivated me for an entire week's worth of content. Again, this is the war on words. The battle may be over, but the war continues tomorrow. Make sure you're here at the same time, same place, for the next word or phrase that we're going to be putting under fire in this war on words. Until then, stay sharp, stay bold, stay fearless, stay naked, stay authentic, and meet me back here for the next time they calls me to shake my head.